Good afternoon everybody, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I'm just going to do a quick update on my pineapple guavas, which seem to have behaved completely differently to last year, which I'm presuming is something to do with the weather we've had this year, as July has actually been pretty cold, and whereas last year we had record temperatures in the high 30s towards the end of July, this year it's been floating around 20-21 degrees, so about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's way cooler, and it seems to have resulted in a change of behaviour. Now, of the three that I've got in ground, I've no idea why. This one's Mammoth. This has had no flower buds on it at all this year. Now, this actually only had, I think, 1 or 2 flowers last year, but they both set, well, certainly if there was one flower, it set fruit, so I did have a fruit, but even though the plant's now considerably bigger, for some reason or other, it's decided not to flower at all this year. Now, the one next to it, which is my unnamed variety, has flowered heavily, but it seems to have completely stopped flowering. Now, last year it was flowering right up till the end of August. I was still getting flowers on the plant, and we're not quite at the end of July, and there are no flowers or no flower buds left on it whatsoever. Now, there are still some embryo fruits where there were flowers. I'm going to see because the wind's come up, because yet again it's another cold day. I don't know if I can get it focusing on that. It does look as if some of these flowers have set fruits. This is the one that produces round fruits that were quite small, but perhaps if it's finished flowering earlier this year, it'll put more energy into the fruits and they might get slightly larger. But the one that most interests me, or I'm more pleased about, is this one tucked away behind here, which is my Triumph. Now, this did flower quite heavily, and you can probably see down there the remains of the flowers. But what I'm finding satisfying, if I can just get in a little bit closer, is that this certainly has set fruit on some of the earlier flowers. There's 2 here, if I can get around the other side. Now, these are already more swollen than they were at the end of July last year, because these flowers came out quite early. And also down here, although some of them don't seem to have swollen at all, some of them are showing, as you can see there, a reasonable amount of size. So I'm quite optimistic that I could get some reasonable sized fruits on my Triumph this year, because it's certainly running a little bit earlier in terms of the flowers. There's another one there that's swelling quite nicely. Now, these produced very sort of oval shaped fruits last year that I suppose were the size of very small eggs, so I'm optimistic that this variety will produce bigger fruits if it's set a little bit earlier, provided we have a warm August and hopefully mild September. So I'm hoping that I'm going to report later on this one that it has got some bigger fruits on it. But again, this one's completely finished flowering by the end of July, which is much earlier than they were last year. Now, if I just walk over and just quickly show my other smaller ones that I got this year, which are in pots, interestingly, these are still flowering. There's some flowers over on the one on the back. These don't appear to have set any fruits, but I'm not too bothered about that, because they're only in containers and they're only planted this year, so they're not going to be very well established in terms of roots. So it was nice to have the flowers, but if I get a couple of fruits, fine. If I don't, that's going to be okay as well. But I just thought I'd do an update on the pineapple guavas for anyone that's interested, just so they could see the progress this year and the difference in flowering habit, which I presume has been caused by the weather being different this year. It's been a lot cooler in July than we had last year. Thanks for watching everybody, much appreciated if you give the video a thumbs up. Obviously please subscribe to my channel. You're welcome to share the video with anyone you think might be interested in growing pineapple guavas in the UK, and if you hit the bell you will be notified of future videos as they get posted, including updates on the pineapple guavas. Catch up with you all in the next video. Brett out for now.